is what you got.
Durag Diaries, yo, what's good, people? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Let's Talk Tottenham. Jords and Elijah. It is deadline day today, people. We have not signed a centre-back. We have not signed that star left winger, but we have had a loan confirmed for that of Randall Kolo Muani. Some of you may know he did reject us in January, but he's here now and here to prove the haters wrong. Away from that, make sure you guys are smashing the like button on your way in. Don't take a second, and it doesn't cost you nothing. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, but not just my channel. Subscribe to Elijah. His link is in the title. It's also in the description, and you can't miss that. And now, also, as you can see next to me, this channel is now sponsored by Match Bingo. So make sure you guys are scanning the QR code next to me to get involved. You know, buy your bingo card. Special offers this week on the international games. Use promo code DRD to get you a special offer of 200% on the deposit. So, look, we're moving onwards and upwards. You know what I mean? We got a little ads involved nowadays. So we got to add that in.
He's going corporate. Hey, chat. He's an industry plant, chat. You see him? He's going corporate. Fam. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy.
Hey, for real. But E, what you saying, my bro?
I'm chilling, man. Obviously, we're gonna talk about the whole transfer window stuff, but there's a whole planet Earth out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot to life other than Tottenham. So apart from Tottenham, I've been pretty good, man. I can't complain, fam. Life is life right now. So
that's what we like to hear, man. Life is life, and you know what I mean. Weather's a bit shit outside. I can't lie. We got the time. I think it's officially the end of summer. Like, it's 1st September. It is officially the end of summer, people. You got anyone that's in school goes back to school. I got to take my kids back to school. So hey, it is the time where you start to grind. Winter time, and let's see how it does. Well, like I said, away from football, life's all right. But this transfer window, not gonna lie, me and E were saying it before we went live. It's been a bit underwhelming. To say the least. But look, let's go through the signings that we have now had confirmed. Because I think it's worth. We got to start off the window. Matisse Tell and Danso confirmed their obligations to buy, or to Tell. We pursued with an option to buy with Tell, but continued with the obligation to buy with Danso. Takai then came in as a centre-back option. And then we got Kudus on a £55 million fee. Got Paulinho on loan. Then we knocked it out of the park a few days ago with Xavi Simons, £51 million fee. And then Randall Kolo Muani on loan. Is that an ambitious window, Elijah?
You know what it is, right? On paper, it sounds decent, isn't it? Like, it sounds like a pretty decent window on paper, but there's so much context which just lacks in it, which is why I don't like just looking at stats for players, because, like, bro, watching them and seeing the stats, you see stuff different, innit? The amount of players we missed out on, the injuries we have, the areas in the depth that wasn't addressed. You know what I'm saying? On paper, it looks like a decent window. See Xavi Simons, Kudus, Paulinho, Danso, bringing him back. Those are 4 good players, and those are players who can actually impact the squad. But with the injuries to Maddison and Kulusevski, you know, Udogie being injured, Solanke being injured, obviously Udogie's just coming back. You know, the areas that are still weak in the team, the winger options, you know what I'm saying, the fullback option, Vuskovic going out on loan, you know what I'm saying, Dorrington going out on loan, Takai chronically injured. You know, it's peak, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want people to look at the players we brought in on its own and be like, wow, this is such a great thing for Spurs. Of course, we give props where props is due for the players we did bring in, but it's still a very underwhelming window at the end of the day, bro. No cap.
But yeah, that's what it is, man. You couldn't have summed it up better. Like, I feel like, as people are alluding to in the chat, that left winger signing, that quality, like we've been sold a dream. And like you said, we've been rejected like by some top players. So of our thoughts, we was expected to get quite a few. Like up until this week, we was getting a Savio or another left winger. Like we've been told this, and I feel like that's the worst thing about the transfer windows nowadays. They feed you too much news. So in our minds, it's like almost guaranteed up until the last day that you're going to get that left winger. Like it's going to be someone, but it might not be the one, but it's going to be someone, you know, it's going to be one of these options. And they read out these list of names, and Kolo Muani wasn't even on the list up until yesterday. Kolo Muani was not even on the list of any names that had been read out. But now he popped up as an option, and he's now signed for us. But the players we did bring in, let's have it right. I think we've got some top quality in there. Like, I think away from maybe the window when Ange come in, even that window, we got quite a few first teamers. So I think that was a strong window. But away from that one, I don't really look at much of our windows and can be compared to what we got this window in 3-star signings or top signings in Kudus, Xavi, and Paulinho. When you look at the comparison between our team now and last year, do you see like a major improvement, or is it like, because obviously if you look at the first team, we've got, you could say 4 players that are better than the players we had before. Now, Kolo Muani is a throw up in the air. Is he better than Solanke or Richarlison? There's not much difference, but the rest of definitely some improvement there.
There is. Only problem is that the final pieces to the puzzle are injured. You know what I'm saying? That's really what it is. And even with our starting 11, I always looked at our starting 11 and said that we can compete over 90 minutes with any team in the Prem anyway. Whether we win or not is remains to be seen, but we can at least compete. There's no reason why we should just lay down and die against any other team in the Premier League, at least in my opinion. Because if you can beat Man City, you know what I'm saying, if you can go up against Chelsea, if you can beat a Liverpool team, you know what I'm saying, you shouldn't have the excuse to lay down and die against teams that are better than us. But even so, not having Kulu, not having Maddison, yes, we brought in a Kudus. I thought bringing in Kudus would put Brendan Johnson on the bench, but no, he's just moved over to the left side. So I'm not gonna any team with Brendan Johnson on the wing in it. I'm not looking at with confidence, bro.
It's actually mad, isn't it? Because we all thought that. We thought, finally, we can forget about Brendan Johnson for a while. And you know, wait, people, I know they're gonna say, "Well, Jords, you gas him up." Yeah, I do give Brendan Johnson his prop. He's a legend of the club. Unfortunately, I have to keep keep on. He won the trophy. He's a legend. He's a legend.
He's not a legend.
Unfortunately, he is. I don't like to say it, but the fact, hey, this is where you've got to be consistent, Elijah. You got to have some consistency, because when we done the managerial debate, what did you say about Juande Ramos? S-tier manager.
No, you're right.
All right. Yeah. So he's a legend. Right. He won us. He scored the game. Not even he was literally the one that scored the goal in the final. So
yeah, no, you're right. He's a legend.
He is. But I did think we'd see the backside of him, like pause. But I thought we wouldn't really see him too much in the team this season. And do you know what? He's worked his way in and wormed his way onto that left-hand side. Hopefully, do you think that Kolo Muani... Well, first of all, do you know what? Before we keep going on about the window, because I suppose it's good to bring it there, isn't it? Because Kolo Muani is a player who could play on the left, could play in the central. Let's talk about today. Let's talk about today's business. What are your thoughts on the signing of Muani? What are your thoughts on that signing?
I don't know, bro. I mean, he rejected Spurs in January, and I know it's like completely different scenario. Like, we have a new manager, start of the season, you know, we look better than we did last year. So I understand that stuff. But at the end of the day, the way I see it is he would have gone to Juventus if that deal went through. And I don't know why the Juve deal didn't go through. But as far as I know, if Juventus and Spurs were both on the table and he could pick, he would have gone to Juventus. And we were the fallback option. We were desperate enough because we always wait until the end of the window and we're desperate. So he just said, you know what? He's desperate. We're desperate. Let's just get the loan deal done in it. And I don't even think he's going to stay. I think he'll be the 1-year loan. And then he'll be back to PSG to end up going to Juventus at some point. So, I mean, it's a stopgap signing for sure. I'm not going to act like I'm the biggest savant on Kolo Muani, but whenever I hear people talk about him, his end product isn't good. And if his end product isn't good, then I don't know why the fuck we want to sign him if the whole problem with the team is we have no end product. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want Brendan Johnson out of the team, bro. And if he's still the best finisher in the club, then that means he's going to be playing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not liking life right now, man. Our front line looks dead. But I know that we're not serious. After the Bournemouth game, I knew we weren't serious in it. So yeah, you know, we're just gonna have to pray for the season. Hope we can just pick up a Carabao or something.
Do you know what? I do think people have been harsh on him, and I was one of those, because in the January transfer window, I was one saying that, like, bro, if you can't eat at the Uber Eats League, you can't come over here and eat a bagatelle Mayfair. You just ain't got the facilities. But at the same time, he did have a good loan spell at Juventus. Like, he did. He scored. He had 16 games, 8 goals, went into the Club World Cup, had 3 games, 2 goals. So he's a player who's, you could say, in the last 8 or in 2025, he's in form. He's picked up some form. He's found his foot again. Maybe found some confidence. So I don't mind taking a chance on him. Now, his all-round game is definitely better than Richarlison's, as we saw in that Bournemouth game. Very limited. We already knew Richarlison was limited, but when you have 2 good games, you think, oh, there might be the turn of Richarlison, and then we realize, no, he's still the fish that flops around on the floor. Like, still just does the same old stuff that he was known for doing all these seasons at Spurs. But with Muani, he can get on the ball, he can run at his man, he can take it down the wing. He gives us a bit more versatility up top to the way that we play. Because I don't know about you. You don't rate Solanke either. You don't rate Solanke. So if Solanke's not good, Richarlison's not good, do you not think that, like, Muani, surely he can't be as bad as them in your eyes?
You know, it is Solanke in it. So I rate Solanke, but not like, I know what he is in it. Like, he's not gonna be the striker to lead us to them heights in it. Like, he's not that good in it. But I think Solanke's better than what we've seen from him, if anything. But Kolo Muani is probably better than both of them. I don't know by how much, but I know that he's most likely better than both of them. At the bare minimum, his finishing is as good as Richarlison's. You know what I'm saying? I'm not letting it over.
No, it's defo better. It's defo better. Like, Richarlison's bad finisher, man. Like,
that's what I'm saying. I'm not letting
his
it over.
His ball striking's bad
with Richarlison in it. Like, his finishing is pants. So at bare minimum, he's got, like, this is me being harsh on Kolo Muani. At bare minimum, he's got equal finishing to those guys. But I think he's a bit more physical. I think he's faster. I think he's better technically than both of them as well, because they're both not technical at all. So there's no way Muani's worse than either of them technically. So it's not that he's a bad player. It's just, like, it's the fact that he rejected Spurs, and also all these attackers we ended up, like, being, like, obviously Lookman is one that everyone was looking at. We allowed basically Paqueta to almost get swooped up by Aston Villa. You know what I'm saying? That pissed me off as well.
He put down the phone, didn't it? Xavi picked up the phone while he put down the phone. So
he threw
the phone away. Like, Aston Villa were calling, he threw the phone. That's how much he didn't want to go to Villa. I'm just saying.
I fully get it, but, like, we didn't even make a move in for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't even make a move for him, and it's like Simmons and Paqueta can both play in the 10 and on the left. You know what I'm saying? So even if you want to do someone who can play multiple positions, like a Jed Spence or someone like that, Paqueta does that too. So even Paqueta for West Ham plays as a false 9 sometimes. So even if you're not saying that he's the striker option we need, but he plays multiple positions just like Xavi Simmons does, just like Lookman does. So someone like that who's also wanted to leave West Ham, we could have put something in for him as well. But Kolo Muani will definitely moonwalks into the starting lineup. There's no reason why he shouldn't. I'm just interested to see how he actually does in it, because the Premier League's different, isn't it? Different kettle of fish.
No, you're not lying. The Premier League is a way different kettle of fish, and that's one thing I think people don't realize with these signings. And he did realize that when he moved from the Booty League, where he bagged, I think it was like 16 goals, 13 assists. He had a mad season at Frankfurt.
Yeah.
And it seems to be Frankfurt, whenever they sell a player, they seem to be frauds in it. But we'll see about that, because they've got 2 players in the Premier League right now balling out. Let's see if our ones can be the next one. But he struggled at PSG. Had a sort of a season and a half there where it wasn't that good. Moved to Juventus, looked pretty good. And now, like I said, he's got his time in the Premier League, and it is a different beast. Now, he's 25. He's coming into that time of his career when you expect him to be going into his prime, or expect him to be picking up the confidence. And plus, It's a World Cup year. Do you know what? This World Cup year does add a lot to these types of deals because players have got that extra bit of hunger to perform, whether they want to go perform for their club or perform for a next move. Some players, like I think Sancho, might just be going for a move to get his 300 bags a week because my man just wants to be guaranteed his money. He turned down Roma, turned down Juventus because he wants. But a player like Kolo Muani is probably looking. He's like, yo, I'm hungry. I had a good World Cup last time. You know, he was probably at fault as to why they didn't win it. But once to be put back into that position to perform and potentially play in up front for France this time around, because the competition's deep now. There's a lot of players who could be playing up there. You know, Ekitike is now starting to push for a role in that team, and as well as many other players. So it's gonna be interesting to see how he does play out this season. What would be your expectation goal wise? What do you want from him in like a goal return? And let's say all comps and then do a Prem one.
All comps, he'll probably get around like 15. All comps. I think if he gets 15, I think that's a good loan spell. To be fair, something like, because like again, like, I think his finishing, like even though it's better than what we have, that doesn't mean it's good in it. Like same with Brendan Johnson. Like, just because his finishing is better than everyone else doesn't mean that it's great. But if he gets like, if GA wise, if he gets close to 20 GA for the season, I think that's a good season for Kolo Muani.
Yeah, that's where I was going to be. I was going to be like, because look, let's be honest, if I bought in a Lookman, if we spent any money on a left winger, that was going to be the minimum expectation. So I'll be honest, I don't think we should change our expectation because the player isn't at the level we wanted. I still expect 20 GA for the season because he's proven that he's at a decent level, and if you give him enough time, he should be able to get goals. So 20 GA is my expectation. Now, will he get to that? Who knows? All competitions, it might be a bit worrisome. But
maybe, bro.
If we can get just 12 Premier League goals out of him, I'll be happy. 12 Premier League goals will be like, you know what? Decent. I can accept that. He's contributing and he's given us more than probably what many people would have expected from an optional striker. Depends if he's the first option or if he plays. I'm just interested to see how Thomas Frank uses him because he's very similar to Richarlison and Solanke with the way that he presses, the way that he works hard, and the way that he runs the front line. And he's more of a transitional in-behind striker. So I can imagine him playing in that 9, but also his ability on the ball, he might opt to play him out on the left-hand side because he's similar to Nico Jackson in that sense, where his link-up play is probably where he thrives more than anything. But what was you thinking about the centre back? Because obviously I know you felt like we wanted a fullback. For anyone that didn't see, we did release that clip this morning from a boardroom talks a few weeks ago regarding we need a fullback. And that's something that you said a few weeks ago, but obviously it seemed to be that our focus was a centre back the last couple of days, but that has not materialized. We've got no centre back, no fullback. Where are you at with that, man? Because yet again, Spurs miss a target.
Sure, this board is a fucking joke. But yeah, a centre back is definitely a position that we need, especially with all these centre backs that we have that are too young to really make an impact or have just gone out on loan. In players like Takai, Vuskovic, Dorrington, players like that. So I understand why we needed a centre back because obviously Dragusin hasn't come back from his ACL. But even so, bro, like Akanji was there, bro. I know some people aren't a fan of Akanji. But let's be real, Premier League proven centre-back who definitely has some quality about him. 15 million. Well, he just went to Inter for 15 million plus, 2 million for the loan? It was a loan of an obligation. So 17 million euros for Akanji. Why couldn't we pay that? You know what I'm saying? It's not like he's going to demand crazy wages either. So that's a perfect Tottenham sign, at least in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Premier League proven. You know what I'm saying? Played for a team that's better than us, been a part of Premier League titles, not going to demand crazy wages, cheap. Like, it checks all the boxes. At least I thought it did. So, make no sense to me as to why we didn't try and go in for Akanji. But, yeah, no fullback or centre-back isn't. If we had signed one of the two, I could probably live with it, but we didn't sign any. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, fullback is more of a priority, at least in my opinion. But even no centre-back or fullback, that's absolutely terrible because that just means the whole Van de Ven thing, that's dash out the window. But we have a very important player in Ben Davies, isn't it? So
You got a very important player in Ben Davies. You know what I mean? I told you. You know what's funny as well? Because he did say at the end of the window he's going to announce the leadership group. It's going to be so funny when Ben Davies is part of the leadership group. And you know, let's have a guess at that now. I think it's going to be Ben Davies. It's going to be Romero, Ben Davies, Vicario. Let's guess who else is going to be. Bentancur. He's going to chuck another weird one in there. I don't know who it's going to be. Maybe Porro.
For like Porro. I was going to say Porro, yeah, probably.
Porro seems to be one of his favorites. So I wouldn't be surprised if that. Ooh, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. Mr. Udang just come in and that caught my during the attempt to sign Admiral Lookman from Atlanta. Spurs also make. That's what I said. I was like, huh? Mavididi. If we went to Leicester and got Mavididi instead of Fatu, I would have just. Right off the club. Mavididi. That's very Spurs.
Even like he was balling out at Leicester. Even like he was balling out at Leicester.
He wasn't. That's what I mean. It's not even like he was balling out. So that would have been craziness. Like that would have been madness. And look, I'm glad that didn't happen. But with regards to the fullback situation or centre back situation, I should say, is you are right. We are short. We're definitely short back there of quality, but we do have options. It's the left side that we're worried about, I suppose, because obviously the fullback, we have Spence that can cover left back, cover right back. But again, if we get an injury or whether that injury is Spence, then it may impact us. Hey, big up to man like Ash Mike.
What go on, Achilles? Hey, man, them in the building. You telling me, people? What's good?
Hey, that's the most energy I've had all day, bro. Right there in that moment.
No, for real.
Well, you man depressed, yeah?
we're not happy. I'll say that.
Look what doing, bro. You see the title of the stream right there, bro. Don't know why.
Well, I had the feeling. That's why I was like, "Hey, Jords, do we have to do a show today?" I knew it.
Knew it.
Do you know what? Yeah, but we're quickly talking about fullbacks, so we'll quickly stick on there, and I'll get your thoughts on Kolo Muani. Yeah. What are your thoughts on the situation of not signing no fullback, no centre back, no defender ultimately of real quality?
Brother, that's what we do, bro. Every window, we know we need to replace Ben Davies. But what do? We give him a contract extension. That's what we do.
Yeah.
It's simple as that. I can't really break it down anymore. Every time we leave a window, we're like, we need a left-sided centre back. We need a left back. We need a left-sided centre back every time, even before Jed Spence. You know what I'm saying? Because Jed Spence, remember, we converted him into a left back. Really, he's a right back. You know what I'm saying? And Andrew wanted to send him packing. So right now we're seeing the rise of the Jedi. You know what I mean? But yeah, bro, it's just every time. I thought that Kanji might happen still. I think loads of people were optimistic that we were going to sort that position. And then when you saw the here we go and it went for us, you couldn't make it up, bro. It's just like after all we've been through, bro. And I think it's the hope that kills you. It's the optimism that you try to bring and you try to be positive. Like, you know what I mean? Because you can't go on life being, having that backwards thinking. So yeah, man, it is what it is, bro. But I see the chat's talking about the grade deals off. And
I've just seen that.
I'm glad it's not just us. You know what I'm saying? But their situation is mental.
It is. They got done dirty, but shame. Do you know what? Shame to Crystal Palace because they done us dirty at the last minute. So West Ham got them back. Snatched it. Getting your chain snatched by West Ham is crazy. I'm not gonna lie, it's crazy. Getting your chain snatched by West Ham is nuts. For a loan player as well. And look, we've seen there that we've helped them out by sending them a player on loan in Manor Solomon, which if it gets him some value, then it is what it is.
I remember him saying we'd get Mavididi. I do remember him saying that.
Mavididi.
All right, but chat to us about. Ash, chat to us about Kolo Muani, innit? Like, what were you thinking of the signing? Because obviously he's a player.
You know what? I remember the last time it happened, and you were having that meltdown. You were like, "No, do not bring him to my club. I don't want him nowhere near." So I was like, when someone says, "Oh, you have to look twice," you're like, you know what? Maybe I was wrong about him. Do you know what I'm saying? But I think it's because your boy is a certified PSG brother. Like he watches him week in, week out. And then he's obviously relayed that information onto you. You probably watched it and said, "Raw, GA ain't matching up. he's done. He's dead out here. Do you know what I'm saying? So I said, you know what? Let me look at him when he's at Juventus. And I thought he might flop after that conversation we had. I thought he might flop, yeah. And then we signed Tell, obviously, innit? So I'm like, all right, let me see who's gonna pattern up, Tell or Muani. You get me? So that's how I was doing. That's how I was doing my matchups in my mind, bro. I'm being real. I was like, right, if Tell bangs, then I know Jords was right. Muani was dead food, and it's done, innit? I know it's different leagues, but that's how I was looking at it, right? Obviously, Muani. Muani, he hits the ground running, innit? He starts, he scores, and then it comes to the point where I'm hearing like, bro, certain man that were rating, what's his name, Vlahovic. Remember, man, them were rating Vlahovic. Vlahovic, the man right here, get him at Spurs. Them man were dropping him for Muani. I said, what's going on here? Huh? What's going on? What? This is the part that we meant to be after. So then, yeah, like obviously I'm hearing the manager and all that, he prefers him, and then they wanted to do the deal for him because obviously he had a good stint and he wanted to be there. So obviously I've looked at that and I'm like, all right, that's recency bias. Obviously he had the good stint at Frankfurt, German league, Bundesliga. I know it's different, but saying that, I could look at Ekatike, who started quite well. We don't know how it's going to progress, but he's come from the Bundesliga and he's doing all right. Obviously, Marmoush, he come from Bundesliga. He's doing all right. I'm coming back round to the Italian league. Obviously, we've shopped there before with the Bentancur and the Kulusevski, innit? The Kulu thing, innit? So, as a fan, I've got the hopium. I'm hoping it can work out, innit? It can, because you know what it is. I understand where George is coming from, because I do see the aspect where he's a bit baggy. He's a bit clumsy. He looks a bit like it doesn't look clean. He looks a bit raw with it. Do you understand? But he's so like explosive and quick with the ball. The downside of him is that he's not mad clinical. Do you know what I'm saying? In the box, he's not. And I think if you're looking at it like that, you're like, oh, I don't know if it's an upgrade. But where he's on loan, was it an option or obligation? I don't even know the actual.
Neither. It's literally neither. Apparently, there's no option. It's just a straight loan.
So right, he's going
so you're telling me
that's what it is.
No, that can't.
He's going
be
Juve
right.
next year.
You can't be right. That can't be right. That's an L.
Juve couldn't pay
that's
it.
An L, bro.
That's what Ghost did say in the chat. Juve couldn't pay it. That's why it didn't work. Bro,
that's an L, bro.
They won't get him next year because they end up signing a Pender as opposed to him, and a Pender's a very similar profile.
But he's
a loan with an obligation, though.
Yeah, but if Vlahovic is gonna go, they might just sign Kolo Muani.
They might do, but do you know what I think with this deal is like you said,
that's an L, bro. Yeah.
I've changed my mind on him. I genuinely have changed my mind on him because when I look
at
him,
I respect that. No, I respect that.
I think when you see his move at Juventus, there's some positives, and I'm not being funny. I believe in confidence and momentum. He's a player who's got a bit of momentum around. He's got some confidence about him. So I'm interested to see. And to be fair, when you look at our strikers, me and Elijah were saying it, like he's probably better than Solanke and Richarlison. Like,
100%. But I don't like the fact that there's nothing attached to it, because what he could do, he could bang at our club and then cut. That's what I'm saying. It's an L, bro. Is that what you're thinking, Elijah? I thought it was just me, because I thought, right, there must be. Now, leave me want to just do an option and then let him just cut like that. Do you know what I mean? Because that would be typical Spurs, bro. That would be typical Spurs. That he lights up the Prem and was like, raw. What are you sick with it? So next club,
red carpet,
the big boy pads to say, yeah, buy it. I mean, not buying. PSG, how much? Do you know what I mean? Even though I know Wiz Khalifa and Levy, them man are like, you get me? Them man are tight. So the chairman, obviously, of PSG, I know they got a good foundation, but yeah,
that's what I was gonna say. I feel like there's probably a gentleman's agreement of sort for Spurs to be able to pay, and we don't like it, but we see it happen with Tell this summer. In it, there was no option in the buy to Tell, but as soon as it came to the end of summer, Spurs we had an obligation of hire or option of hire, and we end up negotiating it down. And I reckon Levy's probably didn't want to put in because they wanted a 50 million euro buy obligation or buy.
Oh, is it? Is that what it is?
So I think Spurs have been hesitant to agree to paying that money if he doesn't bang. So I think that's probably where there's some hesitation. But big up to Don for the raid, man. Big up to Don, all the Chelsea people in the building. Make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you're supporting the man. Them channels are in the channels are in the description. Bloody hell, I can't talk right now. Let's get the likes up to at least 50 for this stream. That should be a standard by now. But yeah, Kolo Muani. What are you telling me? What's the biggest miss in the window? Like, which player was the biggest miss for you? I'll come to you, Ash, first. Like,
no, because you know what it is, bro.
From a 6 or 7 into a 9. What did you need to see?
No, I need to see that left wing, bro. Because obviously Son left, and to me, I don't know, everyone's gonna say the same thing, bro. It's got to be that. Because you lose a talisman or a figurehead like that, and we need that either goals or creations in assists. Something needs to come from that side. When Johnson's playing there, brother, hey, listen. Hey, listen. I don't want to disrespect Team Lighties, but listen, them man there. He ain't doing you no favors, bro.
Defend Brandon Johnson, bro.
I said, look, and that's for me. That's the biggest problem because after you take Johnson out, you got to put Odobert. So we got to trust in Odobert or Tell. So for me, that left-hand side, you don't have any reassurance or assurance that we're going to be able to create or get something because better teams will look at us and say, "Raw, you know what? Just block the right-hand side." You know what I'm saying? Put 2 men on Kudos, and now what? Do you know what I mean? However, I do have a slight solution in it. It depends how we want to set up because there's a few ways you could chop it. You could do a formation thing where you're doing a 5-3-2, you got two men up top, whatever. So the wing backs push on. So that's how you eradicate Johnson. Another way is if you play a 4-3-2-1, meaning you play with 2 10s in it. So like a Kudos as a right 10, and then you play Simmons as a left 10 in it. And then up top, it's up to you who you want. Do you understand? So we've got different ways where we could just kind of, maneuver, in my opinion. But yeah, that left hand side, Johnson's what he's got to do now, because we know we can't take a man on. We know that's not in this game. He's never going to change that. But he's just got to be the man that cuts in from the right or just arrives at the right and just punishes teams. You know what I'm saying? When people aren't expecting it, he just pops out of nowhere, bangs a goal to done, or comes off the bench and he's a super sub. You know what I'm saying? He comes in, he does his thing.
Stay on the bench, brother.
Just keep him on the bench.
He's not. He actually will be useful off the bench, though. When you think about his behind and like his fresh legs, he's always going to be able to cause a problem. Plus, like his dribbling won't look as bad against tired legs. You know what I mean? Like he might be able to catch someone out when they're feeling a bit like heavy.
Hey, the reaching is crazy. You might hurt your back, fam, with the reaching.
But 100%, I'm reaching, but just trying to get some type of usage out of him. But
But just going back to your question, Jords, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm bringing home that left wing is peak. You know what I'm saying? We needed that left-handed side sorted. You know what I'm saying? Unless we're just doing the wing back thing or the fullbacks are just mad aggressive. And you've got.
Did you see us doing a 3-4-3 like Man United? And like I say, playing with those 2 forwards, but playing with wing backs and going to a back 3.
Yeah, but like we could do that. But that's why I said, like with we could have 2, like you said, 2 aggressive fullbacks pushing on with the 3 at the back. But I just think because we never got another centre back, which is another issue, it's looking a bit iffy now. Because if one of the 3 gets injured, then we can't really play that formation as much. Because you're thinking like, who do we have? Because like Mickey van der Ven, then you have to play Ben Davies in the back 3. Do you understand? Because he's the only left-footed. He's the only natural left-sided centre back we've got, unless you're saying the Japanese Don will be fit by then.
I was going to say, is he a left-sided centre back, or is he both-sided?
He's both-sided, isn't it? So he's got he's right-footed, but he can play. He has played in the left before, but yeah, in the back 3, he could possibly play there. Danzo possibly good, but I'm not sure if he's as good with the ball on that left-hand side than he is on the right.
Be closing the angles.
Exactly. So Romero for me on that left again, I'm not sure. So every player I'm putting there, I've got question marks, and that's the reason why I'm like, oh. But still, it remains the fact. Coming back to that wing, see that left wing. See how much problems it's put us in now. Because if we had that left wing, We're not talking about formations or how we're setting up tactically. Do you understand? We're just saying, boom, left wing, right wing, and then Odobert tell then man can develop. Like it's not that deep. Do you understand? So that's my point anyway.
Yeah, Elijah, what are you saying? What's missing for you? I know you're gonna probably say the left winger. What signing would have it been then? What would have taken this from a
I'll
6?
take it in a different direction, to be fair, because I don't want to just basically repeat what Ash said, bro. But I can't lie, I'm not fully sold on that number 10 spot, bro. I'm not fully sold. Having only Xavi Simons, you know what I'm saying? Having only, and hey, look, if Kulu was back in the month, wouldn't even be having this conversation. He's back in 2026. And we already
is that actually confirmed? Because I've seen some people say this, and because somebody reported this, but as far as I'm aware, he's back in the gym now.
But let's even say it like this: he's not going to be, at bare minimum, not going to be back to his usual self until 2026.
Yeah.
So even if he's back, he's not really going to be back for real. Let's say he comes back in like a month or two. He has to play himself and he has to manage his minutes, get himself into match fitness. Then he has to get used to actually playing on the pitch for extended minutes and getting back to his usual self. We talking about 2026. James Maddison, his time's at Tottenham's over, bruv. His time's done. Ain't no way he's going to come back after 2 years and perform well. His time's over. Only having Xavi Simons, then you're asking questions again about obviously the left wing spot. I personally would have loved Paqueta. Personally, someone who can play multiple positions. Of course, I've mentioned Paqueta already for everyone in the stream, but I didn't mention him when Ash was here. Someone who can play in the 10 and on the left. Someone who can play in that false 9 position. Someone who's very good at carrying and playing the pass too. Not afraid to take long shots, which is something that has been lacking a lot, especially with James Maddison. Don't know why, but don't know what happened to bro, but he don't take long shots. We don't have anyone who takes long shots in this team, except for like Pap Sarr. That's pretty much it. Just the talent level, the like unpredictability, someone like that I would have loved in it. But I look at this squad in it, and the most like detrimental thing, which is why I believe we're not serious in it. We have obviously Thomas Frank is an adaptable coach. He can play different formations. It's like we're one player away from playing different formations. That makes sense. Like if we have a back three, then the centre back's missing in terms of depth. If we're playing a 4-3-3, the left wing is an issue. You know what I'm saying? If you play a 5-3-2, then we're missing like that one clinical attacker, or there's a problem with the wing back. So there's always like whatever formation we play, there's always one position where we're just missing something, and that's really what this window was about. Because like even though our starting 11 isn't necessarily better than the teams above us, we can compete over one game of football. We can compete like that. We can go into a game against Arsenal, against Chelsea, against City, against Liverpool, and not necessarily lay down and die, fam. I know Ange Ball's really like clouded the fans' judgment. Let's be real though, in a game against them, it's not necessarily a guarantee that we lose every week. I don't believe that, not with this team. The problem really is the depth, and then bringing in the actual Son replacement in terms of the superstar, the marquee talent. Bro, it's like we're one player away in every formation that we want to play, bro. That's really the problem for me. And that's what I feel like Frank is set up to fail. I believe the board ain't serious. And I believe we ain't getting top 6 no more. I don't believe it anymore. The Bournemouth game showed me everything I need to see.
You think we're not getting top 6?
I don't believe it anymore.
I can tell from that smile, you don't believe what you're saying. I can tell from that smile, you don't believe what you're saying. No, wait, man. I don't believe we're going to get top 6. All right, who's going to get top 6 over?
I think Villa.
Villa?
I just don't think we're serious.
Villa who just signed Jadon Sancho and Harvey Elliott, 2 players on loan, and Villa who got rid of Marco Asensio, got rid of Rashford. Last season, let me tell you, last season they've lost 5 attackers from the start of last season. They lost Sancho, they lost not Sancho, they lost Rashford, they lost Asensio, they lost Duran, they lost Jacob Ramsey, they lost. There's another player, important one that I'm thinking of. They lost Leon Bailey. Yeah, they've lost 5 players. Who?
Rashford.
Yeah, Rashford. That was 5 players they lost, and all they've replaced that with is that Evan Gassant, who's, I don't know, he looks all right. I ain't watched much of him outside of what we've seen at Villa. And then Harvey Elliott and Sancho. So they've replaced 5 players of quality, of decent, quite a lot of quality and goals with those 3. I think Villa's the one that we don't need to worry about. The only teams I'm actually worried about in and around us and let's just assume that Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, and City are going to finish above us. Let's just assume that because those teams are stronger with their squads. Only Newcastle's the only worry to me. I don't know about you guys, but I'm only looking at Newcastle and saying they've got something for us. Man United ain't got nothing for us.
But even
Aston Villa don't have nothing for us.
But even so, I
not on Forest.
Like Forest. I do look at Forest.
No, I'm not looking at Forest.
No, but you know the problem is that I'm not looking at it in terms of our best 11 versus their best 11.
I'm looking at squads as well.
But that's why I don't think we're going to finish top 6 because our squad, like, I'm not gonna lie, when 2 games a week come round, oh boy, we're gonna be especially look the Champions League. In my opinion, I think we're actually gonna finish like around 6 to 8 in terms of the Champions League qualification spots. I don't even think we make the playoffs because we have favorable matchups, in my opinion. Anyway, I think we have a very good draw, so I think we're actually gonna go deeper in the Champions League than I thought we would. Plus, I think I think we're gonna have some decent cup runs, but that also means that we're gonna end up going further in competition. We're gonna be playing 2 games a week more. I think that the injuries might start. I think Pedro Porro might end up getting injured this season because he didn't get injured last season, really, and he's played all those minutes. I don't trust Romero and Van de Ven. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? They're always out for like half a season anyway. If so, we still have Dragoshin out. So let's say one of them picks up injury, Danso comes right in. Then we're looking at Ben Davies straight away. Bro, people underestimate, like, bro, it's 2 games a week for basically almost a whole season, or at least for like 4 or 5 months, depending on how far we go. It's 2 games a week. And the depth that we have, I don't think the depth is good enough. I feel like we're going to underperform it sometimes. I think there's going to be some growing pains when it comes to Thomas Frank. I still think Thomas Frank's a good coach. He is on Fraud Watch, but I still think he's a good coach. I think that the team will get better and will end up developing and playing good football and stuff like that. But just for us to, based on this window, to say that we're going to end up getting top 6, bro. I mean, I can't lie, bro. It's not even about our starting 11 because I just sat here and said we can compete with any team over 90 minutes. So but like the Bournemouth game we just played at home, you're telling me that fills you with confidence that if we're serious about top 6, we should be beating Bournemouth at home. I don't give a fuck what anyone in the chat says because I ain't gonna lie, Jords, your chat don't know shit for the most part, innit? But like, no one can tell me shit. If we're a serious team, we beat Bournemouth at home. There's no reason why we should not only lose to Bournemouth, but in the manner in
Bournemouth
which
beat us twice last season. They beat quite a lot of big teams. Bournemouth
they beat us,
are one of
they
those
only beat
teams.
us once. We drew at home with them.
I'm sorry that we didn't beat them last season as well.
But even so, Ange Ball, come on, let's be real. Ange Ball played a huge factor into why we lost to that many games. If we're being real, it was tactical. It was Ange Ball and it was injuries. With a full squad minus Maddison and Kulu, because Udogi even came on, we basically have a full squad. There's no reason, if we're not serious, we should be beating Bournemouth at home. They're a good team, but they're not a Champions League team. You know what I'm saying? They might not even be, but they're borderline not even a European team. They're a good team.
Crazy. Coming from Jacob, this is crazy.
But they're a good team. You know what I'm saying? They're a good team, but they're not that caliber of team. If we're a serious top 6 team, we should be beating Bournemouth at home. And not only just losing the game, but there's ways of losing. We got absolutely dominated in that game. It wasn't even flipping close. And that just shows me, as of right now, as the squad presently constructed, we are not that. And I don't know about the chat. I'm personally not going to put all this responsibility on Xavi Simons at 22 to come in and change us from getting dominated at home against Bournemouth to then having us basically playing saucy football and guaranteeing top 6. I'm not putting that on Xavi Simons alone, bro. I guess Kolo Muani on loan. But like, even your chat don't rate Kolo Muani either, so I don't know where they're getting their hopium from.
Can I just say again, like this narrative that you're trying to put out, losing to Bournemouth is mad because Bournemouth's the same. They beat Newcastle at St James Park. They beat Arsenal at the Emirates last year. They beat Man United at Old Trafford last year. They went to a lot of away grounds and got wins because of their style of football. But like, I was going to pass it on to Ash anyway and ask Ash his thoughts on the top 6 first. That top 6 comment. Do you think Spurs can get top 6? And I suppose some of those people, I know I saw your face when people saying Crystal Palace and stuff. So your thoughts on that as well, Ash, man. Crystal Palace is crazy. Being shook at Crystal Palace.
No, hey, listen, don't worry, because we got it's Muani. Hey, listen, coming to the lane. No, I'm joking. Listen, I'm joking. Look, for all the players we signed, and I include Xavi in this, we don't know how they're going to perform in the Prem because they've never played in the Prem, full stop. And they haven't played with our players. That's the kind of energy I'm coming with. So until I see them on the pitch, because weirder things have happened, you know. We've had players that you think, oh, that player's going to bang. And then all of a sudden, Spurs tax happens. You get it? So coming back to that top 6 question, though, I think, yeah, why not? Why can't Spurs get top 6? You know what I'm saying? That's how I'm looking at it. I do understand the whole Bournemouth thing, but I don't want to be reactionary over one game. Do you understand? I do hear the concerns because it was poor. It wasn't just like we lost. If we laid a glove on them, you know what I'm saying? If we had like a lion's share of the chances, you could kind of get away with it. But I hate when man gets peppered, broski, and we don't do like it. Just leaves you with like, brother, what happened here? Like what? Like Bournemouth are good, but bro, at least like give them a fight. Do you know what I mean? And apparently Frank was furious with them. Like he told them a new one. He proper laid into them. So I think with him, his principles are that even if you lose a game, you've got to at least show or match the intensity the other team is showing. And I think that's why he was disappointed because we weren't winning our jewels. And jewels in the Premier League is a big thing. I think we're the fourth. I think we got the 4th worst jewels lost in the league this season. Last season, I think we were the 2nd or 1st worst team in terms of jewels lost. So I think when Frank came in, that was the first thing he wanted to change. He wanted us to be more aggressive, physical. And I think we saw that against Man City, where I always talk about this, the distances, the gap between like their defenders or their fullbacks, their centre midfielders. We need to close the gap. So we're closer. We defend as a unit. And maybe that's the reason why he was a bit upset that he didn't see that in his team. He didn't see the commitment, the energy, the physicality, the aggression. And that is a part of his, he's got like what do you call it? A list of no-nos, a list of, what do you call it? What's the word, man? The compromises. He's got a rule book where he says, look, this is what we can't compromise on. Do you understand? And that is one of them. So if he manages to get that into their heads, to the squad, and he was saying also, Paulinho is not match fit yet. He said, when Paulinho, maybe it was just, you know, maybe it's just PR. But he said,
I think he's probably right, isn't it? Because he only started playing football a month ago. So really,
yeah, he hasn't had much for a preseason, has he?
Yeah.
So he said, yeah, once he gets up to match speed, match fit, he said he's going to go up another level. He said, yeah, he's going to be a top player for us. And he's quite tall, physical, commanding in the middle of the pitch. So you could do it, man. You could do it. But yeah, going back to the competition, like Villa, I don't know. I'm not sure about them this season. They have lost a lot and they haven't really replaced well. So I do agree with Jords on that. Then you've got Manchester United. They got one game a week. They could do something. They could do something. No. Because I don't want to be. You know what it is? Everyone watched that game, and myself included. I was laughing at them. Ha ha. Do you know what I mean? But football is a funny old game, and I see they've got enough players in them. If they get it right, their players can do something. They can get like a string of wins together. Do you know what I mean? That's my personal opinion of Man United. Don't like them as a club. Don't really rate them. But I just think that's it. Non-negotiables. That's the one. Non-negotiables. Yeah, I just think Man United could pull something out the back, personally. Palace are doing well. And they pushed on from last season. So I think that's where that comment come from. But yeah, they lost Eze and they really replaced Eze. It's going to be interesting to see how they get on and see how they focus on their second season. Because sometimes the first season is not always a true reflection of what's going to happen in the second season. So let's see what Glasner brings. I do rate him as a manager, and I do like how he calls out the board, and he was ready to walk in terms of Gray. He was like, listen, Gray gets sold, brother, better believe man's walking. Yeah, know that. Yeah, I'm trying to say. I'm just saying, if he said that, I rate it. You get me? Because he has called him out before. Like he's talked about a couple signings. So, but yeah, I still think in my head and in my heart of hearts, I still think Spurs should finish above Palace. You get me? Because if Palace finish above Spurs,
No, that's
No, we're not finishing a blow Palace, man. You just have to look at their start to last season. As much as Glasner is good, he did start off the season with no wins until they came to Spurs.
yeah, but he was fresh in the league, so you're gonna.
He wasn't.
That.
No, because remember he had 6 months of the season before then, so he wasn't really fresh in the league. It was just that. And remember, he come in mid-season, had a big boost to them. Mateta banged like 12 goals. They had a good, strong end to the season.
Right.
And then he started off really slow and then again picked up in the second half of the season. Now, obviously, with the way their transfer window ended and they're not necessarily brought in quality, they've lost Eze and they've brought in Jeremy Pino and Mano Solomon to replace that. I don't see them having anywhere near enough quality in their team to even push on to a European place. We have to be honest here. They are playing Conference League football as well, so they're going to be playing 2 games a week. And with that, if they do get an injury to anybody in that front line, they're starting to look at their youngsters like Romain Essa and these types of players. Like they haven't got that quality. Whereas, although I'd say we don't have like massive quality outside of our first 11, they would die to have an Odebert on their bench. They would die to have a Tell on their bench. They would start like that. That's the difference between the quality in our team. So I don't think that we can even look at a Crystal Palace and be worried. Even Nottingham Forest. If people just have to look at Nottingham Forest the other day, and not even just the other day, they've had worrying signs the whole of pre-season. The whole of pre-season they had worrying signs. They started off the season with a strong performance at who did they smack up, man? It was like a 3-0 the first game of the season. Brentford, yeah. I think it was Brentford. They smacked them up, and then they struggled in the game after that. I think it was Palace. They struggled in that game. And then yesterday or on the weekend, they got absolutely pummeled by West Ham. And I look at them again. Europa League, we know what that does to you. Thursday, Sunday football is hard to manage, and Nuno's not necessarily the manager who plays like the type of football that's going to get you through that. It's going to be suffocating, and I just don't see them being able to get through a cup game and then on the weekend turn it over and be able to win. I don't think they're going to have that.
Hey, let me ask you a question about Tel Nodderberg. Yeah, what do you think about like now that Muani's there? Do you like what does that do to Tel's opportunities? Do you think it affects his opportunities at all, or do you think like he's calm even though Muani's here? That's 3 players,
I think
I was literally messaging Luke about this earlier when we were talking about the transfer window, and like as the transfer window moved on, more and more the option to sign Tel just seemed more and more strange. Like it seems really weird, and it seems like a typical club signing, like sort of when we signed at the time we signed Jed Spence. As much as we really liked him, remember Conte come out instantly and said, "No, I don't want this player. He's club signing." That's what this Tel signing was. This was strictly a club signing. We've signed a player who the money doesn't really make sense because we've invested, including the loan fee, because what was it, 10 million euro loan fee, and then we spent 40 million euro on him or something. 40 million pounds. We've invested 40 million pounds into him. Him and Archie Gray are nearly 100 million pounds together. 2 players that aren't ready to start. 2 players that are on our bench. And as much as I think Tel has quality, like he has, the difference between him and Odebert is he's a lot more refined in his ability to create a shot, and he's actually ball striking is really good. I think he's good at that, but he lacks the confidence to do that on a consistent basis. So I'm looking and I'm like, this signing makes no sense. I don't know what this does for Tel, to be honest. I don't know.
Yeah, I do think they have to do you think they have to like hold that left hand side down because someone's going to take a shirt?
They ain't got no choice, to be honest. But this is why I don't know. I think we're going to see, though, which one Frank prefers out of Tel and Odebert. I think they're signing a Kolo Muani, because before you could get away with Tel being the backup striker and then Odebert being the backup winger. We saw that literally against Bournemouth. Kolo Muani comes in. Now Richie's looking like the backup striker, or even if you want to say Kolo Muani comes off the bench. The striker situation sorted, isn't it? Especially with Solanke. Obviously, he's going to be out for a few more weeks, but eventually he'll come back. So it's really between Tel and Odebert for that left wing spot, and Brennan Johnson, I guess. But who's going to hold that down? Who's going to be the immediate backup? You know what I'm saying? If we need an attacker on, is it going to be Tel or Odebert that the manager's looking to instantly to bring on the pitch, innit? It's going to be interesting.
What did you, man, think of Bergvall? I ain't seen you, man, for a bit, so I'm just throwing little things out. But what do you not think of Bergvall just taking that bib off and just lashing it down, you get me, on the floor? Like,
Bergvall
bro,
he knows his quality, bro. I've been telling you, man. About my guy Bergvall because he come in the game and he changed it. He was literally the changer to the game. He changed the way that we attacked. The way that he gets on the ball and like what he does different is, and I'm sure you noticed when we had Sarr in the midfield, he ran away from the ball. So it looked like the Ange team again when we had the two midfielders and the cam. They're so far apart. There was no combination. As soon as he got in that midfield, he started to drop in. And the first thing he does is opens up when he receives it. He opens up every time he gets on it. He looks out and he starts to carry it through the lines. I think Bergvall has to start. Now, obviously, now we've got Simmons. It's going to be hard for him to get a lot of minutes. Like in that 10 role, he's never really going to play in that 10.
He's not really a proper 10 anyway. He should be getting minutes anyway.
He's not, but you can play him in that role if you want a hybrid. So you could play him, Simmons, and a Paulinho together, or him, Simmons, and there's a lot of combinations that you can play in that midfield. And I think Bergvall fits in all of them. That's the thing. For me, Bergvall's a player.
Wait. What's your midfield three then? What go on? What's your midfield three? Talk me through.
Ideally, I'll be real. At the moment,
it depends on what type of team we're playing.
Yeah,
all right, cool. We're playing.
That's the right answer.
All right, give me the low block midfield for the midfield three. Yeah, the low block.
I'll go Bentancur and Bergvall probably, or maybe you throw a Sarr in there. Maybe
no Xavi.
If you're saying the low block,
you're not rating Xavi
at all. I thought you meant where the low block. Okay.
No, we're attacking.
Okay.
We're attacking.
We're attacking. We're the front foot team.
I'd say Bentancur, Bergvall, and Xavi Simmons probably.
Okay. Do you want me to be honest? I go different. I go. Actually, no, yeah, just Bentancur, Bergvall, Simmons. You're right. I was gonna go Bentancur. I was gonna go Bergvall, Sarr, and Simmons because I can't lie. I feel like those two could be a pair to you, especially against a low block team. You'd probably want Sarr for the legs to cover that ground in behind, and Bergvall just to give you a bit of, somebody.
Hey, what? Random. What's Archie say? Where's Archie?
You know what it is? I like Archie to play that Burnley game. I think Archie in the 6, Sarr in like the 8 kind of Roman role, and then Bergvall in the 10. Obviously we've got Xavi Simmons now, but I think those three in particular, I think that they complement each other very well in the midfield. It's just that they don't have the experience, nor like they haven't like grown into the Premier League yet. I actually think like those three with Xavi Simmons will probably be like the nucleus of the midfield for the next few years for Spurs. Because obviously Palhinha's there, but he's 30 going on. Bentancur is always injury ravished. Bissouma is next. And you know what I'm saying? So the rest of the midfielders, they're kind of just here for the now. I think those three together, they should get like the way we played against Burnley, they all clocked a lot of minutes because I'm not the biggest Archie Gray fan. I still think that he can provide something in a few years because he's still, 19, 20? Bergvall's still like 20. Sarr's like 22, 23. I think that they complement each other very well in terms of their attributes right now. And if they grow up together in that midfield, I think they could grow into like a pretty good midfield trio, at least in my opinion.
Ash, what are you saying about Archie Gray in the 8? Because we've seen him play that role and he looked okay. You think he can get a chance in the 8 against some of these like lower Premier League sides or Carabao Cup games and so on?
It depends on, because it's different at Spurs, isn't it? The pressure's different, and it depends how Thomas Frank looks at games as well, being his first season. Because I think at Brentford, he's got more time and more freedom and can experiment a little bit more. There's less pressure. So he would have been able to blood Archie Gray in a little bit better. I do agree with you. In the 8, he looks a lot more freer. He's got more freedom. He can express himself. He can, when he's further forward, he can get his head up. Do you know what I mean? Pick passes out, defend higher up the pitch, be aggressive, get on the ball, make things happen. But in that 6 role, when he's asked to take the ball off the centre-back, to kind of stand just behind that first line of pressure. You know what I'm saying? You know, when the strikers are there, you've got to stand behind the striker to receive the ball and then open your body, get on a half turn and then distribute. Like, I'm not sure if he's developed that part of his game enough where he's got the confidence to do it in a consistent basis, if that makes sense. Because people will be like, but he has done that before. I've seen him get on a half turn. But I'm just saying, can he do that in the Premier League under pressure, under the lights? Do you know what I'm saying? For a club like Spurs where we need him to perform, I'm not too sure if he's developed that yet. So I think further up the pitch, that's why he was looking a lot more aggressive, a lot more free. In fact, I don't even think he wasn't Yeah, it was more the attacking eight. I can't say a 10.
Yeah.
It was more the attacking eight. Do you know what I'm saying? That left hand side. That's when we saw the best of him. And like he said it himself. He didn't say he was a 6. He said, I'm an 8. That's what came out of not mine. I didn't say
Archie
it.
Gray said that.
You said that.
Archie Gray said that. He was like, oh, what's your favorite position? 8. I like playing as an 8.
Do you know what it is though? He doesn't look like a 6. His body doesn't built. He's not built like a 6. The only thing that gives you the thought that he's a 6 is like his scanning of the game, and when he gets on the ball, like he's somebody that can hold the base of the midfield. But he looks more like an 8 to me. It's just people haven't seen that forward side of his game, so I think they have hesitations about him. But with his actual passing and his ability on the ball, his technical level is very high. I think compared to a lot of our midfielders, he's actually one of the higher technical level players, like probably ahead of Saar, Bentancur, Paulinho. Like he's very good on the ball. It's just
I don't know about Bentancur.
Bentancur, I can't lie. I really thought Bentancur was really good on the ball, but he's up and down. Like Bentancur has a really strong
Archie
game
Gray's
on the
just
ball.
down,
No, but I mean, like I as a player, Bentancur is cold, but sometimes you get like a really good on the ball game and his off the ball game is shit. And then sometimes off the ball he's amazing and he's shit on the ball. I feel like it's always one or the other. You don't really get like both of them with him.
Yeah, I think since that season, and we had an exceptional season before he got injured, since he's come back, we haven't seen anything where Bentancur excels at, like whether it be dribbling, whether it be passing, whether it be like winning the ball back aggressively and just being like in the midfield, you got to make yourself known. So you kind of want a player that says, look, trust me, give me the ball. I'm going to be the hub, or I'm going to be the brain of the team. So, or be an engine, be up and down, help the attack, but then also get back and break. Like, I haven't seen those type of things. And I'm saying and the reason why I say that is because at times we're playing as a 2 defensive midfielders, so a double pivot. And so one attacks, one sits, and then vice versa. And when that happens, that's when you need to see Bentancur step up, especially like getting forward and helping the team. And if you're going to be going forward, you need to be breaking the box and creating opportunities or having a shot off yourself. At least Saar's done that. You know what I'm saying? As much as we criticize or critique his technical base, his technical level, at least he's shown the desire to get forward and contribute in the attacking third. Do you know what I'm saying? As well as defensive, and his hard work. Hard work's given anyway. As a footballer, you need to be working hard. Simple.
No, definitely. And with Bentancur, I think he's a player who will have a good season under Frank. I think he's going to have a really strong season. And next to Paulinho, to be fair, he's the player that's looked like the one Frank's always going to go to, because even when he makes the substitutions, he tends to go for Saar and tends to go for Paulinho before he goes for Bentancur, because Bentancur can play in the 8 and he can play in the 6. And he seems to do the deep line playmaker role well. He seemed to pick that up quite good. Like even towards the end of that Bournemouth game, that second half, he was really good at the base of midfield, just sweeping it up, sort of being a third centre-back at times, just sweeping, laying it off to Bergvall and just creating those little combinations down the right-hand side. But we have an expectation, and I want to ask you guys what the expectation now of the season is for after the transfer window. Like, because obviously in the last boardroom talks, there was a big argument regarding whether we need to win a trophy or not. And I don't know, for some, this transfer window wouldn't suggest to me that we must win a trophy after this one. But what are you guys saying? Is it a must-win trophy season?
Not for me. Elijah, what are you saying? I don't think it is. Do you know what it is?
I don't even think we're reaching the final, let alone win a trophy.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what your expectation as a fan is and how you perceive Frank. And then what people are doing is they're using, like I said it in the last show, they're using Ange's second season to judge Frank's first season. Make that make sense? Do you understand? Because when Ange first came in, no one weren't doing that. And when he got knocked out straight away early from Fulham, and he played that second-rate team, people were getting mad on him. Do you understand? So, but the same energy has to be applied, because when he started doing well, people quickly forgot about the League Cup the first season. Do you know what I mean? They're only remembering what he did when he left, when he won us that European trophy. And now they're saying, okay, Frank, your turn. Brother, what are we doing here? It's his first season. You got to give him the same. You got to be consistent. Whatever you said about Ange that first season, grace period and all that, that's got to be given to Frank, no? you know what I'm saying? Second season, then you can apply your tax. Say, look, now you got to win. And even then, the second season, not all fans were saying Ange must win a trophy. Not all fans, do you know what I'm saying? But a lot of fans did hold on until we got knocked out those cups. Do you know what I mean? The League Cup, the FA Cup, etc. And then the reason why they were so onto him to win a League Cup and an FA Cup at that first time was because we were doing so poor in the league. Had we not been doing so poor in the league, I don't know if the expectation would have been, oh, he must win a league. He must win an FA Cup.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because remember, he was virtually unknown. Not unknown, but he was coming from Celtic. So people weren't giving him that much energy. Do you know what I'm saying? So, well, it's not about, Jordan said, Ashmack, you need a big mentality, yeah? Jordan, I'm going to send you a link to my show. And if you've got a big mentality, turn up. If you can't turn up, let me. I don't want to hear it, brother. Because Bear Brother's got Bear Chapter, man. And I say respectfully, if you got the mentality, brother, yeah.
Ashmack analysis 9:45 tomorrow. Make sure you're there.
9:45. Make sure you're there.
Oh shit!
I'll be sitting, Jordan.
You know them ones.
It's all love, though. It's all love. Listen. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. I'm just saying, raw. To put that on Frank in his first season, I just don't think it's
a bit much.
Do you know what I mean? Or maybe I'm not being reactionary enough.
No. We're trying to be balanced. That's what it is. We're adding some balance. But Elijah, what are you saying? Because correct me if I'm wrong. You was on the side of who? Now I'm trying to think who actually said we must.
Jay wanted the trophy.
Jay was one of the main ones. I'll say
probably
that.
Jacob as well. Probably I ain't gonna lie.
Say what happened? What?
Jay was one of the main ones. Again, we need a trophy this season. Or sack Frank. You know Jay. What Jay's like. Super crash out.
What? Sack him if you don't. Is that what he's saying?
If you don't win a trophy, like
he's got to go. He's a goal.
Trophy. That's what he's just getting.
Is
that
what it is?
If Frank don't get top 6,
man. Yeah, no, Frank don't get top 6. It's mad.
If he don't get top 6,
he's got to get Europe though.
In my opinion, he should get sacked.
Do you know what I was gonna say with the window that we've had, but
there's obviously exceptions because obviously.
Wait, is this our best window though? Is this our best window? On
paper, probably. On paper, which is
is this our best window?
If we got a left wing, I would have said 100%. But it's tough, man. Do you know why? It's tough because Kolo Muani and Paulinho are both loans, so we've only actually technically gone out there and signed 2 players in my eyes, in Simmons and Kudus. Like to me, that's it. We didn't sign much. Like if you want to throw Danso and Tell in there, then. It's like I'm not doing that. That's what I mean. I don't do that. I don't do that.
Because that's what man always does. When it gets like they think they're smart. They do like a loan deal, and then they'll be like, the next summer they're like, yeah, new signing. Nah, brother, we saw them from last summer.
What will happen is if we sign Paulinho next year, it's going to be £30 million Paulinho next year, new signing.
Or Muani. If we sign Muani, he's going to be a new signing.
New signing, and that's what I don't like. Like, I feel like. We've not spent enough money this window. That's me. I can't call it one of our best windows when we've spent what 112 million. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. If you don't more than Hotel, it's been about 112. You get me? No slim. Yeah, 112, bro. Mad.
I think that's
we've not been ambitious enough.
Beaches and cream, man. 112. But yeah, man, it's crazy.
Yeah. I think the quality of window and the quality of players has definitely stepped up from previous windows. We could
because we've bought players that can go straight into the first team. Because before we're doing like one player last summer, which was Solanke, and then the season when Ange first came, we actually got Madison in the first time. His first 11 player. We got Van der Ven, he's also starting 11. Vicario, he's starting 11. Johnson. So that's 4. Do you know what I'm saying?
4 first-team players, same way.
Van der Ven and Vicario didn't cost that much. You know what I'm saying?
No, Van der Ven was 43 million. Vicario Vicario was 20 mil, but Van der Ven was a 43 million pound.
That's one.
And Madders was 40 mil and Johnson was 44 mil. So it's sort of like all that's
similar.
See Spurs love to do similar price ranges. It's very similar.
They trick man still. I can't lie because everyone's thinking, you know what? this window was.
I knew
you know
Kudus
what I
was
mean?
grinding people, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's quite similar to Andrew's first season, bro. I'll be
That's
honest with
exactly what I said earlier. I said it's very similar window. Now, I think the quality of these players is slightly superior because you had Vicario, Van der Ven both coming into the league, you know, young, sort of still. Van der Ven was still unproven. Maddison was the one player of real quality that we brought in because Brennan Johnson was. We know what Brennan Johnson is now, isn't it? Whereas Kudus, Paulinho, Xavi Simons.
But towards at the time, people going mad for Brennan. Let's not do that. People were going mad for Brennan. They were, yeah. People got mad for Brennan.
I wasn't looking at Tottenham.
I looked at Brennan and I was like, yo, what are we doing here, fam? Brennan Johnson. I remember it being a choice between Manama Twerk Batty for Adama Traore instead of Brennan Johnson. That's what I remember. Trying to get... Remember that window when we were going in for Adama and people were like, bro, bring Adama, man. We need him. He's what we need.
Yeah, no, I hear it still.
It's been dark times, like. But we got some techie players now. And what's this? I see Mr. Udan keeps saying something about a Mavadidi loan. Apparently, we tried to get
it didn't happen.
I don't even know about it, bro. I'll be real.
Into something that is not happening.
Apparently, we tried to get. Let's see this. What's this status that he sent in?
I thought after Lookman. No,
this Leicester's got business. Apparently, they're confirming a player, but it's crazy. Mavadidi on loan would. What would that have been? Imagine going from Lookman, Savinho to Mavadidi, bro.
Yeah, there would have been a meltdown, bro. That's what would have happened. Do you know what I'm saying?
They couldn't have done that. They literally, that would be better off keeping Solomon at that point. You're literally better off keeping Solomon. Like, it's crazy stuff. But what would you rate this window out of 10, boys? What are we rating this?
You know what? I was like, it all depends on, like, because you can never know until the players play on the pitch, innit? Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? So people remember last season, people go, man, oh, this is an 8 out of 10 window. 7, look, we got rid of the Deadwood. Remember, I said people celebrated for Deadwood. We got rid of the Deadwood.
That window was so meaty, bro.
They were rating it because we got rid of the Deadwood. And we got the young bucks. Generational. So, me personally, I'm not getting too giddy. You get me over this window. I said 6.5.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
It may rise to a 7 if Muani bangs, but again, I need to see that transition in the league. I don't know what Muani we're going to see, but I'm being honest. So that's why I'm holding back. I'll be real. Kudos has obviously had 2 games where he's popped. The third game, not so. So, but obviously Kudos is a good signing. So I ain't going to do that. I'm happy with Kudos. And then you look at obviously Xavi Simons on paper on what he's done in the past. Like, we kind of failed. Some people say we fell forwards, but you know, it's just that Prem tax, isn't it? You just don't know until you see it in the Prem. That's how I see it, bro. That's I'm being honest. Who else did we sign? Paulinho. Yeah, he's a good signing. He's a good signing. Good loan deal.
He better not be.
How? Why? What? Go on, talk to us. What are you saying? He seems real upset right now,
bro. I can't lie. I'm just saying Thomas Frank's on fraud watch, and that's what I'm saying. He's still on fraud watch. I haven't taken him off yet. I'm not. There's some things I'm liking what I'm seeing, and then there's some things I'm not liking what I'm seeing. From
what are you not liking? What you're seeing? Is it the when we're playing on the front foot?
I feel like I'm not seeing
the attacking patterns to play.
That as well, but I'm not even seeing like the lineups are an issue for me. I'm of course the attacking side of it, but I'm not.
But he has asked for a left winger and a 10. So ideally, he doesn't want to start Johnson.
But he also said he didn't need a fullback, so I can't trust him. But like he also like the way we play is like I'm just not seeing. I'm not seeing the level of adaptation and the tactical side of it in the middle of the game. I'm seeing it before the game.
I hear it.
I'm not seeing it during the game though. Like Bournemouth, it was so obvious to see what they were doing. They were just picking on Paulinho, making us go along to Brendan Johnson, and we lose the ball, bro. It happened for 50 minutes. He then brought.
But that happened. But that happened due to the lack of quality from our attackers. Because let's have it right.
Also had to do with a bad lineup choice. We went with the same lineup that we played against City.
It was a combination of both.
It's a combination, sure, but they're both on.
Who would you have started for that midfield? Who would you have started?
I would have started Benton, Korsar, and Bergvall.
And then up front, in the front three,
I would have started Odebeck, Kudus, and Richarlison.
so if
I
he
feel
does
like
that next
Johnson's
game,
been rewarded for his goals though. Johnson sort of
He's
started.
being rewarded, which I get, but Brennan Johnson, we're not. Like, Thomas Frank might feel like he has to do that. Us three on the screen and in the chat, we don't give a fuck. He should not be starting. We all know that. Brennan Johnson.
But I guarantee you that outside of this, people know, man, Johnson, because he even come out and said he needs to improve his 1v1. But
yeah,
he's not about that life. No, that's not his style.
Bro. They know, and it's like
everyone can see it, Bob. Yeah,
I appreciate it, but like, it's like for the first like 50 minutes of the game until Bergvall and Odebeck came on, it was the exact same thing. Like they would press in the number 5 on a dice, bro. They would press with those 5 organized like that in the midfield. They'd press with them, and we'd struggle to build up from the back. What would happen? Van de Ven would just start driving with the ball. Because we'd form a back three with either Bentancur or Pellegrini. And then we only had one midfielder in the middle. It's like playing like a 5-1-4. That's what it felt like, because the way they were pressing us. And all you got to do really is just have 2 players who can drive with the ball there. 2 players who can just pass it with Sarr as the legs.
You know what's so funny though? Again, what have you noticed about all the players we've started to sign? What's been the one attribute they all have? They all carry the fucking ball.
Yeah.
So, like, all these things that you're saying, he's identified as problems, but quite clearly we don't have the solution. And no, you are right.
The linear, like he started.
You are right.
And,
we had other type of solutions in the team. We did have other type of solutions, but I think there is a fine line between, you know, rewarding a team for a great performance in the week before, and then also making the adaptable changes to the team against Bournemouth. There should have been some adaptable changes.
The adaptability, but that's why I'm like, if this is Angier, we're having different them. You know what I'm saying? And it's because
not 3 games into Ange, we wouldn't be having a different Vim though. Not 3 games in.
No, but we've at the same time, Ange had a lot of players brought in for him in it. Like these players that we're having, obviously Pellegrini as an example, but Brennan Johnson, we know about him already. You know, a lot of these players, barring the just ones we just brought in, we knew about already, and they're playing.
Yeah, but the thing is though, Brennan Johnson was picked out by Ange, and so I think Frank's having to live with some of Ange's mistakes. Do you know what I'm saying? In those
I don't think he should start him though. I think unless he's being forced by the board to start him, which obviously he'll never come out and say. But like unless he's being forced by the board, in which I don't think he is, bro. I don't know if you might hear the sirens, but this is Harsden, isn't it? This is what happens. But like I don't think he's being forced to start him. Bro, it happens every night, fam.
What are you doing around here?
Oh, what I'm doing in my house is crazy. But I don't think he's being forced to start him, honestly. I think he's just starting him on the premise that he can just get a goal. You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly what it is.
But it's like you don't do that against Bournemouth. At home against Bournemouth, you don't do that. At Bournemouth, if you're playing against Bournemouth at home, it's different to see.
You think after he scored a goal, you should drop him?
Yes.
Back-to-back goals, by the way, not a goal. You scored back.
It could be 10 goals in a fucking row. I don't care, bro.
Nah, but you have to be.
If he's the adaptability guy, and we all know that we don't have the best squad in the league, so we can't just set the same 11 up against every team and it works out. We know 100%. That we're gonna have to change. Hence, and even the board know that. Hence, they took away Ange, who would start the same 11 religiously if he could. And he's brought in a manager who's known for tactical adaptability, formation change, all of that. We saw that in the preseason.
What if, though, he did what you said, right? First game, he scores, isn't it? Right? Am I right or wrong? Did he score his first game in the first game?
He scored in the first game, start the season.
Yeah.
Burnley,
so against Burnley, he scores at home. By your logic, you would have taken him and said, listen, don't play against City, right? Then he scored the first goal, right? Against City as well. So then we wouldn't have had that 1-0 lead going into that game.
I wouldn't have played him against Burnley, but I would have played him against City. Because what Brennan Johnson is good at is literally, he's good for when we play a low block and counter attack. What we did against City, well, not low block because we.
I agree.
Them, but in terms of there's certain games for certain players. Like Brennan Johnson, it would be very good when we have space to run into behind, or we're doing a quick build up and we just need someone to be on the end of it. That's where Brennan Johnson thrives. He doesn't thrive when we're supposed to be playing with the ball. Like even against Burnley, we saw it. Brennan Johnson was horrible in the game. Everything went down Kudus' side. He was horrible. He just happened to get the goal. I think that when we're supposed to have the ball, I think players who can keep the ball, keep the game moving, keep the ball moving, and take on players, especially when we're supposed to be dominating possession, i.e. against teams like Bournemouth and Burnley at home. I think Brendan Johnson should hold bench.
Well, what do we think about a possibility then of, because obviously Xavi Simons is, I know he played, to be fair, I think he's played more minutes on the left than he has actually in the 10. Like, he's more of a left wing or sort of inside midfielder on the left. He takes up a lot of his space in the left half space with an overlapping fullback a lot of the time. What about if let's talk a few months down the line, because obviously right now we won't have this problem or won't have this solution, but what about if you get the option of putting Xavi out on the left and then you throw Kulu back in the middle when he's back in good form? That could be that could really work, you know. Kulu, Xavi, and Kudus next to each other. What are we thinking about that? Like, or even when you get Maddison back in, it does look a lot better, because as much as I'm not a biggest Maddison fan, Maddison playing next to Xavi and Kudus, he's now got guys to feed. He's now got guys that he can actually build off, bounce the ball off, and he's going to have more space around him because you don't have Porro and Udogie inverting your space, but also you've got two wingers that are now going to stretch the pitch and they can do a lot with the ball themselves. So you haven't got all these players only looking at you. Do we think that, I mean, without the left winger that we wanted to buy, we've got option in playing Xavi Simons there and just using the current options in the 10?
Yeah, I think with you're right, with Simons, he's a player that he won't hug the touchline as a left winger. He'll come out, drift into the central areas. And yeah, it could definitely work, because when Kulu's in the middle, he would naturally drift to the right as well. And Kudus would have enough intelligence to either hug it on the right-hand side or he will just switch over. So yeah, there's lots of fluidity going on in that team when like most of the teams fit. But it's just a question of, like you were saying before, Kulusevski, how long is it going to take for him to get back to fitness? And then how quickly will it take him to get back to match ready, where he's playing well and he's on form? Because I think the last time he was injured, he was like 5 or 6 games off it. Do you know what I mean? Before we saw anything back from Kulu. So that's the only question I'd have. And it just goes back to that window question, man. That's why that left wing, it was just like, and I personally think it was the club. Maybe it was Frank as well. Look, I'll be real, because I think I heard them say Frank definitely wanted Savinho. And
yeah, Savinho was his number one option.
Yeah, and so like they're on a tip where if they can't get the number one target, then they don't want no one else. You know what I'm saying?
But I hear that. I do hear that. I think that's a good way to go into the window, but you should have a few different targets that you feel like you're more than comfortable to proceed with, rather than just one. And let's be honest, we should have sounded out Savinho back in July when we probably could have got a deal done, and Man City would have felt more comfortable to try and get a replacement, not 2 weeks to go with the window. And Man City are like, yeah, there's no one else out there for us.
Yeah. What frustrates me is the way we do business, like one at a time. We can only do one deal. And if we were able to do business a lot quicker, get to the point, we would get so much things done. Leaving it this late in the window, you're always going to cause yourself trouble, because teams could pull out. They might not find a replacement. So, yeah, it's I don't know. I've never liked the style of business, and that's the reason why I'm like, Levy's got to go, man. That's my main reason. His style of negotiation is just terrible. Old school, isn't it?
Good one.
I've seen his question and saying, do I think Ange is a better manager? Like, obviously not, in it. Like, there's no chance. And I saw Gus to say that I don't think he rates Frank. I do, like, I like Frank, in it. Like, it's just I'm not gonna ignore what I think are red flags just because I like this manager more, bro. Like, I wouldn't do it in any other scenario in life. So I don't know why everyone's treating football like it's different. If Thomas Frank is, because I didn't watch Frank at Brentford like that. I only watched him when we played against him. So like, if Thomas Frank is coming in, and I'm hearing from everyone that Spurs fans that he's adaptable, he'll change formation, he'll change tactics, he'll do this, he'll do that, and then we start it, and then I don't see it, then I'm going to ask, why don't I see it? I then saw it against PSG, and I'm like, okay, now I'm starting to see it. And then we change up against Man City. I'm like, okay, so I'm starting to see it now. And then he goes back and then doesn't do it against Bournemouth. And now I'm asking questions, does he do it sometimes? Does he not do it? I'm just pointing out what I see in it. Now, obviously, he's just getting used to it, so he could end up rectifying those things, in which case he'll probably do that, and that's fine, isn't it? But, like, me just calling out like the fact that I haven't seen it. It doesn't mean I want Frank out. It doesn't mean I don't rate the manager. Doesn't mean I think he's gonna flop. It's just that on a game by game basis, I have to call out what I see in it. Like what I'm seeing is not necessarily what's right. It's not objective truth. It's just my opinion. Like, I could be wrong. He could prove me wrong next week. He could prove me wrong next month. Like it's fine. I'm more wrong than I am right on YouTube. It's not that deep. But if
I think you're kind of. I think you hit the nail on the head, man. I think that's something we can look at. If his in-game management is becoming an issue, where he takes long to make substitutions, because we've seen that with other managers as well. Like Poch was guilty of making late substitutions. Conte at times would make late changes, be stubborn to make those changes, and so that can affect the overall outcome of a game. Do you know what I mean? So if that's a gripe of yours and you see it from early and it's a red flag, I say fair play, because I did hear that critique, and I said it to someone. I said, "Raw, you know what? Two things I'm looking out for Frank. How does he play against the mid teams? Because I know how he plays against the big teams. But when it comes to the teams that are closer, like the mid teams or the not so, how does he fare against them? Low blocks, and how's his in-game management? That's what I want to know. And that's what's going to separate. And I remember watching the PSG game and saying that. I was like, raw. Enrique, obviously, he's got a better bench, so that's how he was able to win the game. But I said that's how these top coaches, they kind of like earn their bread. No, that's what separates them from the others.
Yeah. No, definitely. And to be fair, in the Bournemouth game, I wasn't mad at his like in-game adaptations or the in-game reactions, I should say, to like the substitutions. Odebert and Bergvall coming on, I thought were the two right substitutions to make, and then Porro coming off to switch Spence on the other side, I think was the right substitution to make. I think he should just made them a little bit earlier. Now, Dogi might not have came on earlier because he's trying to manage his minutes, and if that's the case, then can't blame him there. But definitely, I'm impressed with what I've seen from Frank. We've seen a few different setups and a few different games. Obviously, now that he's got a 10, now that he's got a left wing option or a new striker option, I expect to see some change. And the new look Tottenham team that we got against West Ham in a few weeks, it's going to be interesting to see. I can't lie, like I'm looking forward to seeing it.
What are we saying? How many goals for Muani this season?
That's what we said. Expectations 20 GA. I'll be real. I've got an expectation of 20 GA
in all
competitions.
20 GA is fair. In all comps,
that's fair.
Because he is a link-up player. Like he does get quite a few assists. I'd expect like 13 goals, 7 assists, something like that. Like just give me, I'd say 12 goals in a Prem. I'm cool. Like just more than 10. Because I'm not even funny. Solanke, we had no player to get more than 10 last season. So if we can get a lone player to get more than 10, then get a Kudus and somebody. We're going to need these types of players to all score 10 goals each. I don't think we're going to have anyone score 17, 18. We might have 4 players get 9, 10, 11, 12 and all of that. And that'll be fine.
We got 19 last season for Frank.
Who?
We saw got 19 for Frank,
we saw and Mbeumo got 20, to be fair. And Mbeumo got 20. So.
Well, we're way off that, innit? You know what I'm saying? He had 7 seasons or something crazy with Brentford. So
he had a long time.
He had a lot of time to develop those players, get into them. But I don't know if this fan base has the patience. I'll be honest. Just hearing E as well, like after one game,
one bad game, they're all on it.
You know what? I shouldn't even do that to E, to be fair, because E's being fair. E's calling it how he sees it. But I can imagine people that are less patient than E just magnifying what you just said. And just saying, no, he's not good enough. Get him out.
I wouldn't
when the fans turn, bro, you get me? The managers ain't got long because the board react off the fans, innit? They don't like the smoke. So it's just whether it's whether the fans can stomach or be patient enough. We've heard this word patience. Fans hate it. Patience, they hate. Process, they hate. And to be fair, we've gone through so many managers. I think that's the reason why we ain't got time for another manager not to get it right this time. And that's why I was disappointed the board didn't take the extra step to get that left winger. Because I said, look, if at least you don't have the defenders, at least just correct the first line of attack. Do you understand? We can deal with the defenders later, or sort out the defense and we can sort out the attack later. One of the two. That's how I look on it for real, bro. You know what I'm saying? And if Savinho's the guy, then all right, cool. Man's willing to wait for Savinho, isn't it? But just sort out a centre back then on the left side. But go on, sorry.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want. If we're gonna wait for Savinho next season, then you won't hear no complaints of me as to why we ain't got a left winger. But if we go next season and we're still relying on, I don't know, Tel Nodabert on left wing, which would be a typical Tottenham stuff, then hey, we're gonna be in a very bad position. I do have some reservations regarding January, but look, we'll see. Gonna have to see if this club does do any business. I am glad to say that it is the end of the transfer window, people. So no more transfer shows, just do Tottenham shows. We could just talk Tottenham. Even though I still feel like everybody's going to want to talk transfers anyway.
Hey, there's going to be some ITK out there. Hey, Spurs. At the front of the line.
Couple channels out there have been living off this transfer window. And now the actual content's supposed to be coming through. Let's see who can keep up with that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, like that, yeah.
He's sending shots. He might be sending shots at me. I don't know. But he's sending shots.
Nah.
Shots.
Hey,
but more than anything, transfer. No, it's just nice to be refreshing. Transfer window over.
Yeah.
Us man can actually just. I ain't got to look. You know them ones like looking at Twitter every day. Just so I've got the. Like, I see the news. I'm not
crazy.
refresh. Yeah, I'm trying to just now I can sit back, kick back, and forget about that.
Like, bro, what a window it's been though. Like all the sagas. That Morgan gives White thing was.
I've been thinking about making like a timeline video of like just from the start of the window to the end because there's so much shit you could talk about. Boy, there's
so many like. I'm thinking of it. We thought we was getting Gibbs White. We didn't get Gibbs White. We thought we were getting Eze. We didn't get Eze. We thought we were getting. Well, I thought I was getting Savinho. I can't lie. I was already celebrating.
Yeah, I thought I was getting Savinho as well. I can't lie.
I was dropping money sleeves. I was getting mad. I was getting Savinho, Kudus.
I thought the double save. Right wing,
I was getting at least one of the two, bro. Yeah.
Then when we had Eze and Kudus, I was getting. We got Black Excellence back at Spurs. Bro. Like this is what I was up for.
I was behind it with the black kit, the Champions League badge.
I was thinking we're gonna be going crazy, but clearly not.
Spurs happened.
It's been a good one, though. It has been a good one. We will be back in January, people, with more transfer stuff. In between, then we will still be live. The man are going to be active every other day. If there is transfer news, we might touch on it briefly, but we're here to talk Tottenham. We're here to talk tactics. And we're here to talk everything but transfers. So, look, people, big up to everyone that's been inside. Still got 48 people in the building, 57 likes. I can't complain. We're more than 100% at the like ratio. So, big up to everyone inside. Make sure you're subscribing to not just me, but also the Mandem, Ashmatic, Spurs Kings TV in the description. Same as Elijah. Too much of E. It's in the description. So, make sure you guys go over there. Show some love, show your support. And what I am going to do, I've seen Joey's live. So go raid up Joey. Let him know you're smoking on that Clear Lake pack. Yeah? Because that's what he's smoking on, that Win Stanley and Clear Lake pack. He's still doing it from the other day. Since that Friday show, he was rattled. You man need to go watch that clip. Yeah? Ash, I had all three of the Chelsea dogs were barking. I had all three of them. They're just barking off. The guy, CB, Joey, and Jimmy. Yeah, and you know what made it worse? You know Joey and Jimmy, because they smoke. They're sitting there just smoking. I was like, bro, you man are stressed. Bro. You know, it's all smoke so fast. Bro,
I've been smoked too.
Spliff's gone in 10 minutes. You're like, yeah, that was a stress spliff. Roll another one, bro. I'm telling you, roll another one, bro. Roll another one. You know,
guy trying to light the filter in that, fam.
Yeah. Aye, that's another one, Mr. Aye, Giddy Spliff TV. Go spend over a Giddy raid. But look, we'll end it there. Go raid up Joey. Let him know where you guys have come from. And yeah, man, until next time, tomorrow morning, we'll be back.